St. Pierre.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to congratulations on order tonight for a familiar face with a different name. Miss Renee Alleman is now Miss Renee Alleman Simpkins, who got married over the weekend to Simpsons. So I think we ought to give Renee a round of applause. Congratulations or condolences, whoever wants you, which thinks appropriate. Also, last week we had a visit from Senator Landrieu's mother, who came out and visited the RSVP at the VFW. It was a very informative meeting, very nice lady, and I'd like to thank her for that. Also like to thank Valero for inviting myself and several members of the staff to the United Way celebration. Valero raised $542,000 for the United Way of St. Charles. That's quite a commitment by that company. We also met with Tommy Fauché from Dow to discuss the contributions to St. Charles Parish. As I told y'all, they gave us $50,000 after the storm, and they committed another $100,000 after the first of the year. And I'd like to thank them for that. We had a meeting with the Department of Commerce last week. The girl's name is Erin. Mr. V.J. and I had an opportunity to attend the World Cultural Forum, where 70 countries from throughout the world came together in New Orleans last Friday, and we had an opportunity to meet with them, tell them about St. Charles Parish, what kind of businesses we were looking for. They told us their needs, what kind of businesses they're looking to locate in the United States, what kind of land they're looking for, what kind of access they got. So St. Charles Parish is pretty well blessed, because out of all the things that they asked for, naturally was waterways, rails, interstate, airports. So I think we made some pretty good contacts, and I think by joining the World Trade Commission that we can bring in great opportunities for our parish. And we're in the process of starting this land usage plan, and I think that we got to be very selective with the kind of industry we want to bring in here, and I think that's a great opportunity to meet those type of industries we want to bring in. We also met at with Mr. Raymond, had a town hall meeting at the Red Church subdivision at the library, and several issues they brought up was crime and several other issues that the sheriff is willing to work with them on it. He's going to start a little more investigation, but he did point out that there were over 120 arrests so far this year in that area, and I think the 120, I think like 80 of them were not even St. Charles Parish people, so it's people that's coming in from outside the community. And I'd like to thank Billy for organizing that meeting. It was well attended, very informative, and everybody really behaved themselves. I'd like to thank Dwayne and Holly. As you know, we had the Challenger Baseball program, which was a huge success, and Holly and Dwayne came up with the idea of now we're having basketball. So, and it's I would like to encourage every councilman here to at least try to make a meeting. I encourage all those citizens to try to participate. We had 27 kids registered. Out of 27, 25 showed up, and we had almost one side of the gym at Harry Hurst was full. And every time these kids made a basket, everybody clapped, and they were, all you can see big smiles on their faces. It was really fun. And we're gonna have how many games, Holly? 4? 5 more games. And on the last night, we're gonna try to get a Hornets player to come out and interact with them, and maybe bring some jerseys or something. So I'd like to thank Holly and Dwayne for another great job with the Challenger program. On Wednesday, November 5th, from 9-11, St. Charles Community Health Center will be at the St. Rose Community Center administering flu shots. Please remember the cost of flu shots is $25, but if you're a person that is on Medicare only, the flu shot is free. On November 6th, we were meeting with the Corps of Engineers to discuss our new strategy for the West Bank Hurricane Protection Levee. We're very excited about that. We had some preliminary discussions with Colonel Lee, and we really encourage that definitely we're going to get a temporary permit to start portion of the levee, and the part that's in dispute, the modifying alignment that we're seeking to get, there will be some negotiations going on, but I think we will get a temporary permit to do a good portion of that levee. So hopefully after our meeting on the 6th, we have some great news for you. Don't forget tomorrow, we got to come out and vote, election day tomorrow. Dennis and I met today with Vicki Capelli from the Census Bureau. They starting to do some preliminary work on the 2010 census, and she's going to do a presentation on the what was the 15th, Dennis? December 15th. December 15th, and I just want to encourage all of the residents to make sure that you fill these cards out, because that's important. That's how we receive federal funding, and that's also how we get our congressional delegation districts. The number of delegates that we have is determined by the number of people you have in your parish. So please fill those cards out and turn them in. I'd like to mention that the bids for the repair of the East Bank sewer treatment plant came in at $349,500. Our engineering estimated was $336,000. So Sam, I'd like to thank you and your staff for doing a great job in putting that together. We also had our Wetland Watches program last Saturday. I'd like to thank all the volunteers that came out to help build a walkway through the swamps. There were over 150, 200 people came out, and as I mentioned before, I'd like to thank Larry and his fire department for housing. I think it was 15 of them. They said how good job y'all did, and the food was very good, they said, so I thank y'all for that. And then also Amanda Shaw came out there and had a little concert, and she had everybody jamming on the lake, so very nice project. It was great, great weather. And don't forget, tomorrow, get a good night's sleep tonight, because tomorrow the budget hearing starts at 8 o'clock, so be prepared. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.